Good morning. I'll just wait a few more minutes to let everyone join and get set up. So in this morning's practice, I'm going to be starting a series called Pieces of the Practice so that we can take pieces of what we practice in yoga in kind of little chunks and then thread them all together. So this morning's practice, where we're going to be meeting the day with our sun salutations, is also going to be focused on breath awareness. So when we breathe, you notice the details of how you breathe, and you combine that, you interweave that with the spaces of movement. So just taking either a standing position or a seated position, I want you to notice your breathing. So you can close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but just notice how you're meeting the mat this morning from the space of your breath. And in meeting the morning on our mats, seeing our breath for what it is or how it is, I want you to begin to notice the details of how you breathe. So there's a natural inhale, right? It happens without even conscious thought. And at the top of that inhale, there's a natural pause. And then behind that natural pause, or after that natural pause, there's an exhale. Then there's this brief moment of suspension before that rhythm repeats. So eyes closed or taking a soft gaze, I want you to notice the spaces of how you breathe. And so how we naturally breathe, and then how we can encourage the breath to take a little bit more depth. So to begin, just notice where you're coming to your mat this morning from the space of the inhale. Top of the inhale, there's a natural pause. And then the space of the exhale. And notice what happens when the mind begins to connect with how you breathe, or it begins to explore and look at the details, the energy, the feelings, the physicality, the chemical exchange within the body. Let the mind be present with all those spaces. And then within your next inhale, or when you feel guided to do so, I want you to try to lengthen the breath and rise up slightly through the body. So the breath begins and then the body follows right behind it. So within the inhale, we notice it, and then the spine begins to rise. The natural pause, it comes, and then the body holds in that space. The exhale begins, we maintain this length in our spine, but within that exhale, we let other areas soften. Moment of suspension, breath repeats. Inhale, it begins. Rise, base the spine through crown of the head. Natural pause begins. Hold. Pause in that space. Exhale begins. We maintain this posture and we let other areas of the body soften. So think jaw, think shoulders, think hips. Maybe take a smile. Good. 2 more times. Inhale. Rise with the breath. Pause. Exhale begins. Other areas soften. 1 more time. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. Good. Let's come to standing at the front of our mats. And so what I'd like you to do is take that awareness of how you just breathed at the beginning of your practice. You take this into the space of movement. So same concept. The breath begins, the body follows. We're going to take 6 rounds of sun salutations this morning, this time taking them a little bit slower so we can practice working with the intricacies of combining breath and body. So coming to the front of your mat, rolling the shoulders back and down, letting them settle on the back. Find your space here. Connecting with Pada Bandha by lifting up the toes. Activation happens through inner ankles all the way up through thighs. Maintain that physical activation. Let the toes release. Pausing in mountain pose, adjusting to the gravity, the shift in gravity, this standing space. I want you to notice the intricacies of your breath. So within the inhale, we rise, base the spine through crown of the head. We pause with that for a moment. Hold it, maintain it. And then within the exhale, let other areas soften. I want you to do this 2 more times. Breath meets body. Good. With the next inhale, the breath begins. The arms come all the way up overhead. Draw up. Let the gaze look up just slightly. Exhale. You're coming through a flat back, forward fold. Let the head hang, let the jaw hang, let the body hang there. Within the next inhale, you're going to come up into a half forward fold. So breath begins, body rises. Plant the hands, stepping back into plank. Let's modify our chaturanga, dropping the knees. Fall, meet the earth, elbows at your side. Inhale, rise, cobra. Exhale begins, body swings back, pelvis comes up, hands are planted, feet are planted, downward dog. Gaze looks forward, step to the front of the mat. Half forward fold, and then the next inhale. Rise within the inhale. Spine lengthens, gaze looks up. Exhale, slight back bend. Inhale, find fluidity to center. Exhale, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Lower down to the earth, either modified chaturanga or shift your weight forward. Inhale, you rise, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Gaze looks forward, front of your mat, half forward fold. Inhale, rise. Keep moving, breath and body. Really milk the moment with the breath. Let it be deep and full, guiding the physical body. Good, let's take 2 more. Keep flowing. And then meet me back at the front of your mat. Roll the shoulders, let them settle onto the back. Palms facing forward or at your side. Noticing how you feel. And from the space of noticing how you feel, taking your awareness back to the space of your breath. So feel the intricacies from a heat building, maybe a little bit of a slower heat building practice. How does that energetically, physically, what does the mind connect with? How does that feel? Like, what's the mind's story on the space of your breathing after drawing through a movement and breath-based practice? Do you want to take bigger inhales or exhales here? Do you want to draw in really deeply, taking the breath very directly, base the spine through crown of the head? Do you want to exhale out your mouth? You choose for your practice in the space of awareness what your body needs. So we go through disciplined rounds of sun salutations in the space of keeping something repetitive and kind of unique to the yoga practice. Sun salutations are very foundational. They're deep-rooted. They belong to the yoga practice. And then in the space of awareness and kind of listening to what your body needs in this moment in stillness, these final moments here in mountain pose or preceding any type of breath-based movement practice. Notice how you feel. Notice again if you want to rise deeper within an inhale. If you want to it out your mouth. Or if you just want to listen to like the space of your heart, maybe the heaving of the chest. But do take a moment reflecting and being present in that space. I thank you for practicing with me this morning. I'll be doing this again next week, the same time, as well as on my Facebook page and Ebb and Flow Wellness's Facebook page. We've got a slew of donation-based classes going on. And I'll see you next week for some more pieces of the practice. Namaste. Bye, guys.